and welcome to Thursday with Annette. Look, we've got lots happening today because we're making a fabulous recipe out of book 4. It's also in Cooking for 1 or 2. So you can make this today either for 2 or for 4. And what are we doing? Well, we're doing this wonderful Oriental pork. It is so delicious. It's my go-to. I love it. I really love it. It's one of those stir fries that I just can never get enough of. And you can change the protein in it. And I think that is what I love about it, because sometimes we'll have it with rump, sometimes we have it with chicken, you know, vegetarians can have it with tofu or the pork. So it's a really versatile one, because when you change a protein, it does change the flavours a little bit in the recipe. But if you notice there's something a little different going on here on my bench, well, I did, show off this last week, which is my new lemon chopping board, which I just love. And I'm going to chop the pork, slice the pork up on this, and then I'm going to use the watermelon for the veggies. And I love having the 2 different sizes. But also, look here. So we cannot get the red woks anymore, but we can now get this wonderful blue one. And it's really just the same as the red, but just with a different colour. And because I kind of like matching things a little bit, and I thought, well, blue, what else have we got? Well, we have this here. We're now going to also offer the blue classic set fry pans, the 24 and the 28 centimetre, in their blue colour as well. So that's a bit fun, isn't it? But if you buy either of these right now, we've got a special deal going. Thank you very much. We love our free deal. And it's this beautiful spoon here. Now, it's a Beechwood slotted spoon with silicone handle. It's fabulous. I love mine, and it's valued at $26.95. But you know what? For a while now, you're going to be getting it for free when you order either the classic twin set or the wok in the blue range. So that's my little gift to you to get you started. So let's talk about this recipe. I love it so much. It's such a great stir fry. So what you're going to start with is the pork. So we've got 500 grams of the butterfly pork steak. So it's just the leanest flat steak of pork. It's not a chop. We've got onion, fresh beans, red capsicum, we've got celery and the little baby corn, which always looks really lovely, all those colours together in the wok. They're also going to put in for banging flavours. This is what I love about this, is really beautiful. You've got crunchy peanut butter. You can use smooth if you don't have crunchy, that's fine, but I like the little bits of the nut in it. So crunchy peanut butter, you've got your stock powder, sweet chili sauce, some low salt soy sauce, fish sauce, the Macel chicken stock powder. We're also going to use this cooking spray with, of course, it's the rice bran with the Neoflam. That's what we use. And also we've got the evaporated milk and some coconut essence. Now, if you're having trouble getting coconut essence, it's not in Woolies or Coles anymore, but it is in the bigger IGA stores. So you should have no trouble if you can get to an IGA store. So let's get started, alrighty? So I might start with the pork and get that cooking, because I'll tell you as I go why I do that. So with this pork, you're going to cut it into strips. Now, this is enough for 4. But I often make for 2 because, hello, it's just me and Billy at home. And it's a great one to have. I've had it when people come over. I make it for when visitors come because I don't have to give anything else with it but some rice, because the vegetables are enough already in it. And we're going to cook the pork off first. Now, the reason I do that is so that it stays lovely and moist. If I put it in and then leave it in there the whole time I'm cooking all the vegetables, it just gets too dry, it gets tough, and that's not what you want in a lovely recipe like this. So you'll notice in most of my stir fries, I'll tell you to do this, that we cook it off first with ginger. Did I mention ginger? No, I didn't. So if you've got fresh, you can use it, but I've got the jarred because I like it to be as easy as possible. Look at this beautiful lean meat. And I sometimes when pork's on special, I grab some of these and put them in the freezer, because why not? All right, let's turn the wok on. I'm excited to use this for you today, this gorgeous new blue one. It's so pretty, isn't it? Give it a spray. And I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of ginger. And as I said, you can use the fresh if you want to. I'm going to push that down a bit. There we go. 2. And that really will kick up the flavour when you're sautéing your pork. And what I'm going to do is just slowly start adding the strips in. Thanks for joining me today. I'm so happy to be in my kitchen with you. You know, I love that you guys come in each week and share some time with me. And how great to learn how to make these really delicious but super easy recipes. Right, so let's get rid of this in the sink. Wash my hands. And I'm just going to toss that around so that the ginger can infuse into the pork. Now we're going to take it out once it's cooked, just cooked, and we'll put it back in at the very end. So you can see your protein then will be really nice. So if you're doing pork, it's 8.4, rump is 12.1 grams of fat, chicken is 8.4, and the tofu is 13.7. And you dice the tofu. I think you dice it more than strip it. All right, let's get slicing here. So we want a cup of capsicum cut into strips. If it's too long, then just cut it in half. So everything's cut in strips today. And my measure cup is here, so I want a cup. So how I measure it is by putting it in lengthways. And I'm using red because I want the colour. You know, because we eat with our eyes, as they always say. Let me just toss up my pork. Look at the pan, how the food just slips around in it. Look at that. It's just, nothing sticks. It's a wonderful wok. That's why I thought, well, I mean, if we can't get the red, I still want to have it because I love it so much. So that's why I've gone with the blue now, which actually some of you might prefer than the red, actually. All right. 1 cup. Now I've got a bowl here and I might just put all my veggies in it as I go. Celery is sliced. We want 1 cup. Don't do it too thick because it'll take forever to cook otherwise. There we go. Celery. But the great thing is, like, you have got a bit of chopping to do right now, but that's it. It's all contained within the meal, so you don't have to add anything else to it. That pork's looking beautiful. And I can smell the ginger too, which is great. Now, if you hate ginger, you could swap it for garlic, okay? I always love to give you different variations of things in case you're not a fan. So now I've got the fresh baby corn. I love that. And you should find it easily in your supermarket. And I'm just going to cut them in half. Now, this is the bigger bit, so don't sort of make that too big. And here we go again. So I just tend to, if you can see, I tend to cut it there. Now we want 3/4 of a cup. I think we can get away with 1 more in there. I mean, it's easy, isn't it? I mean, it's not hard to do this. I'm going to leave the onion till last because if it makes me cry, I won't be happy. Hello, pork, you are done. All right, so let's move this out. Beautiful. Right, so I'm just going to leave that there for now. Let me put that spoon there. But remind me, we've got to put that back in later. Please don't let me forget, because I can be I get so caught up with things, my goodness. Now, I've made some basmati rice to go with this stir fry, because I just love rice with it. And the basmati rice is the low GI rice, and that's the one that's really good for all of us, but especially people with diabetes. All right, so we're going to do now a cup of beans. All lovely and fresh and fabulous. If you wanted, you could swap the beans out for asparagus if you wanted something a little different. I find I do change it sometimes because we eat this a lot. So you don't want to get the kids saying, oh, not this stir fry again, Mum. Although I'm sure they wouldn't complain to you, would they, children? Just are so grateful for the meal that they get. Yeah. Till they move out of home and suddenly realise, oh, wow, this is a lot of work. And I know so many of my lovely followers have been buying the cookbooks for their kids when they leave school, leave home, which I think is brilliant. All right, cup of beans. I'll just get this, put this in my rubbish. And then we've just got to do a cup of onion sliced. So I'm going to, because it's sliced, I'm going to cut it in half and I'm going to cut it into quarters. And then just thin slices. This is, and people have often asked me, Annette, how do we not get our eyes to cry when we're cutting up an onion? And I always say, there's only two things that I think work. Is a sharp knife and a knife that's sharp. Some people say that they put them in the fridge and that helps, but I don't have room in my fridge for onions, I never have. All right, we want a cup. There we go. All right, so we're done with all this now. Let's put this over to the side. Fantastic. Ooh. So we can actually start cooking it now. There we go. Let's respray. Now this is up to you how long you cook your veggies for, because it's really whether you like them really crispy, a little bit crispy, or you like them soft, up to you. So in they go. So we've got the capsicum, the celery, the onion, and the beans and the corn. We don't need that. In my soapy sink. Let's give it a... There we go, that's looking great. Might turn that down, that's a bit high. The woks really contain the heat. Now, let's look here. We've got all our sauces and everything to go in. And this is something that I created back in book 1, was my coconut cream, Annette's coconut cream. And of course, if you're followers, you'll know it well. And it was the evaporated milk with coconut essence. And, you know, people say, well, isn't the light coconut cream okay? I go, no, it's like 20 grams of fat a cup. A normal coconut cream is like 40, 45. This way, it works out, I think with this new one, it's like 2 point, what is it? I can't even read it. Isn't it terrible? It's like a couple of grams of fat. Like, this is the way to go, honestly. And I find nobody seems to really know the difference. And if you're saying, well, that's good for the people that can have dairy in it, what do I do? Well, the answer is, Billy, grab a bottle out of the fridge for me, Dale. This is what I use. I've got a couple of dairy-free people in my family and friends, and so if I'm making this, this is what I do sometimes actually. Look, I'm glad I thought of this, is I make the cooking for 1 or 2, and so I make the normal one for the 2 people that have it, and there's 2 that are dairy-free that often come to visit, and then I make the second one using this, and that's the almond milk. It's fantastic. I put a little bit more corn flour in, just because it's a little bit runnier than the evaporated milk, and it works an absolute treat. And then it's dairy-free. Gotta love that. But make sure it's unsweetened almond milk. And I just love it. Look at the colours, it's so fabulous. I might move it over. The other thing you'll notice as well is that the evaporated milk has got smaller in size and it's now only 340 mils. So here's why I've got the little 35 mils of skim milk, just to make it all right. I might actually put the half a teaspoon of coconut essence into the milk while I'm standing here. There we go. And as I said, it'll be up to you. Like, I mean, can I dare be like a master chef? I love the way they do that. But us little home cooks, we'll just stir it around, won't we? All right, let's put some sauces in. We want 2 teaspoons of sweet chilli. So that gives it a bit of a tang. We want a tablespoon of the low salt soy. Please get the low salt because it's much healthier for your heart. Tablespoon. We want a teaspoon of fish sauce. So you can see lots of really authentic Oriental flavours. There we go. And then goes in the very important ingredient, the peanut butter. All I've got to do is put the stock powder in, but I just want to stir that all in. Now you've got to work the peanut butter in. It needs to be warmed so it will spread. So just keep tossing it around till you see it combining. Oh my gosh, how fabulous. Now we want 2 teaspoons of stock powder, and I'm using the chicken. So if you're using beef in the recipe, you would then use the beef one. If you're vegetarian and you're doing tofu, you would use the vegetable one. So this is, you've got covered there. Oh, look at this. So just move it. I can see, because I did use the crunchy, I can see all the bits of peanut in it, which is just beautiful. Please try this. It's such a good stir fry. All right, so let's, where is it? Here it is. Let's get the milk going. I can pour that in as well. And then it equals the can that's in the recipe. We haven't changed that yet. And then we go in with the corn flour, and I'm just going to whisk it together. It's a tablespoon. Give it a combine, and in we go. And I'm just going to add in, then I'm going to add in the pork. So what we want to do is just bring that to the boil, and it will start thickening. Yum. Let me move this. Oh, Annette. All right, so now remember I said rice with it, but you could do noodles if you wanted. That would be lovely as well. Now, just don't forget that if you want to get either the new blue wok or the new blue pans, the classic set, we get this spoon with it. It's so fantastic. Can you believe it's $26.95? I mean, it's such high quality. And they're all that sort of healthy cookware as well, which is why I really favour the Neoflam brand. Now, if you're thinking about winning a cookbook, well, you have to choose, because you can either win book 4, where it serves 4, or you can win the cooking for 1 or 2. There we go. Now, it does freeze. It freezes for about 2 or 3 weeks, but not much longer than that because of the evaporated milk, okay? So I wonder, which book are you going to pick if you're a winner? All right, in goes our cooked pork. This is a meal for a king here, and a good queen as well, and a few princes and princesses. So just combine that in. I love this for winter because it is a complete meal, you know, like, you know, a lot of dishes, they have to have vegetables on the side or salad, but this one, it'll just warm you up in a bowl with some rice. To me, I love a bowl on my lap at dinner time with a spoon because I can't be bothered with a fork. All right. Now, if you're interested in next week's show, This is going to be fantastic. I'm really excited because we're going to do a dessert that's traditionally very classic, and I've put a different spin on it. I wonder if you've made this recipe. It's in book 7 and it's my orange hazelnut bread pudding. So you can't miss next week because it is such a delicious dessert. It's one of your favourites, isn't it, Billy?
Yep.
Yeah, he loves the bread and butter pudding, but this one's got the orange and the hazelnut twist to it. How I do it, we'll find out next week. And I said that's in book 7. Oh, this is looking fabulous. Okay, let me get my bowl with my rice. I'll turn it off. And here it is. My Oriental pork. Oh yeah. It's got the beans, the capsicum. It's such a healthy stir fry, isn't it? Make sure I get some corn in there. They'll be upset if they don't get corn. There we go. And remember, this is for 4, so you get a good serve, don't you worry. There we go. There it is. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? Now, if you want to win, you know what you've got to do. You've got to like, share, and then in the comments, you have to be writing this down. Hashtag Symply #2 good. Simply too good, and I'll pick 3 winners, and you will have a choice between either book 4 or the Cooking for 1 or 2. And don't forget to go to the website. Check out the new range. It's fabulous. Simplytoogood.com.au, and don't forget you'll get that free fabulous spoon for now. All right. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. We're done and dusted for another fabulous Thursday. You take care, and I'll see you with the pudding next week. Bye now.